Hello and welcome to Zorg Rampage. This is Supreme Commander Force Alliance, the game between Tech Rock and Voodoo Master. UEF, of course, this is Voodoo, the one we know. Going second air, he's really good at that. Looks like here's going to go with 8 P-Gens. It's a rather large map. There are some civs in the middle. And this is 3599. Looks like second air for Rock as well, and exact same build. Identical build for these two players. Let's see what happens with the factories. Looks like just engineers for Voodoo. Let's speed that up at first. And in the middle, some civs. Stealth, Tech 2. If you actually break into here, looks like you would need some mobile missile launchers or some tech to point defense here. Plus with shield, it's going to take quite a bit of firepower. You can get quite a good mass. Looks like it's McMarine here from Voodoo. He's going up on top. Look, there's a passage through the top, also a passage through the bottom, and eventually there'll be a passage through the middle. Looks like a lot of different terrain. I've never actually played this map. Looks like there's a lot of different things going on here. These choke points right here, very important to know exactly where they are. Looks like there are a couple. So multiple places where you can get onto this lower level. But mech marines on both sides for Voodoo. The second air coming up for Rock. Should be very similar for Voodoo, actually going a little quicker. It looks like a single engineer now, or a power spam. Massive power spam. Another engineer guarding a factory. More mech marines coming out. Now an interceptor for Voodoo. A bomber for Rock, who's now going to get yet another land factory, and a single engineer. Looks like 2 engineers now in power for Rock. And you can see in terms of expansion a whole bunch of engines. And this is Scruffy. Interesting that McMarine is Scruffy. But looks like a little quicker expansion here for Rock than for Voodoo. Voodoo now also making some more land factories. Bombers coming out for Voodoo. And interceptors taking out some bombers from Rock. And a group of mech marines rolling through. So it looks like mech marines in Tech 1 Air. This engineer survives. It's will be very important if it survives or not in the second pass. Unable to shoot, so that's a big loss there for Voodoo. A very good expanding engineer. Meanwhile, Rock's ACU looks like it's going to go to the bottom, while Voodoo going to the top. The CUs are not going to see each other for a while. More land factory and an air factory for Rock. Looking at Eco, Rock at plus 400, plus 380, plus 20 in terms of mass, but it looks like just enough of all the different resources. Still like 3 engineers now in the power spam. And looking at Voodoo, he's at 400 power, so basically the same at power. A little less mass production now, and some mass problems for Voodoo. That's because his engineers were not as good at expanding out to the sides. And also this is completely lost to Voodoo, at least in terms of mass extractors. It's going to be a battle here for those 4 or 5. And up on top here, a couple of mass extractors. Looks like a couple of engineers were taken, perhaps by the bombers. The ACU for Voodoo continues to march. Very similar positions. Looks like it's not really clear who's further ahead. More engineers trying to escape here for Voodoo. Voodoo needs to establish base here before the ACU comes in. It's an interesting bomber here from Rock. Plenty of good targets. And that was quite devastating. 7 kills in one pass. A lot of dead NGs. And another 3, so a total of 10 kills for the Tech 1 bomber. Rock playing extremely well. Here comes a drop from Rock. Interceptors for Voodoo are going to land and get shot by Manti. That always sucks when that happens. Voodoo continues to push. Actually, he's stopped here in the middle of nowhere. Now he's going to continue. He's got a couple engineers making land. Voodoo now getting a couple land factories. And looks like he's got a very big land spam now, and he's got to have big mass problems. Huge mass problems, but he does have 15 land factories. He probably needs to stop making new ones because he can't even afford to use the ones that he has. 6,000 reclaim for Voodoo. Both players have significant air forces, but they're in different places, and if they ever fight, it looks like Rock does have more. It's also interesting how the two players are avoiding the middle, although looks like a bit of a mistake there from Rock, losing a couple interceptors. And we got a standoff, Tech 1 standoff. Rock getting some more land factories. But with the ACU in this position, Rock should be able to win this battle. Also really nice bombers, plus a good recon. Voodoo being aggressive, but runs into an ACU, bombers, and these Manti. Actually a really good move there from Voodoo. Looks like he did have the numbers, but those are some excellent bombs from Rock, exploiting his air dominance. On the other side, Voodoo has completely taken over, no problems whatsoever. Looks like Rock here patrolling, preventing any more interceptors being constructed by Voodoo. Meanwhile, Voodoo now comes in, is going to take out these bombers. And perhaps surprisingly, Voodoo doing a very good job here against the ACU. Rock looks like he's now going to get the gun, and once he gets the gun, he should make some progress. Meanwhile, Rock now came in with bombers and completely devastated this air production, and now he's taking out power as well. And it looks like it was a drop. 6 Manti in Voodoo's base. Missed that drop, but that was really nice. It looks like another transport here for Rock, taking the side mass extractors. And this is so many Tech 1 bombers. Really great airplay from Rock, working with 2 air factories, a lot of build capacity. And Rock has to have a lot of power to be doing this, plus 840. Has really good mass, excellent eco for Rock. And this is so many bombers. He's going to just devastate the power of Voodoo. Interceptors there for Voodoo. They need to shoot these down, but that's going to take a while. And we just might see Voodoo completely power stall here. He's already in the negative. And now he's going to have even more problems once these die. Meanwhile, Rock with the gun with 30 kills, making serious progress here on the bottom. But Voodoo, it seems like he's got Tech 2 land up on top, retreating with his ACU back to base, but assaulting directly on Rock's base. And that's going to be very big problems with this Tech 2 land against Rock. Meanwhile, Rock now with 37 kills. It looks like there's a land spam from the main base for Voodoo, moving down. And it looks like Rock is going to have major problems now. He's making emergency point defenses, but of course Mongoose can outrange. .45 kills for Rock, and unable to break through this massive land spam. Looks like more than 10 factories producing a constant flow of tanks that Rock just can't break through. But he's going to get a lot of veterancy. Meanwhile, at the base, still problems. Rock retreating with some Manti. He's going to kill off that shield. Looks like power problems for Voodoo. Not surprising, still major power problems. He's trying to rebuild his power, and that does make his shields pretty useless. This does require 5 power generators to run. And an air fight that it appears that Rock is going to win. Rock continues to retreat to try to save his base, and really we got to say map control in Voodoo's favor, although he does have major power problems. And here's a drop. This could be a very important drop for Rock behind Voodoo's base. He can start a land factory. Looking at Voodoo's radar coverage, he does not have any radar coverage in this position. Voodoo with yet another assault against Rock's main base, but point defense is doing their thing. Although Rock no longer able to produce air the way he used to. Surprisingly, there is actually Tech to flag here, getting 1 kill. That's going to really suck for all those interceptors. Rock now with 65 kills. Actually, it looks like he will be retreating, rebuilding power. Looks like Rock is going to try to establish a main base here with the power, but that's going to be ran over. Voodoo with a really big Tech 1 spam here. 75 kills for Rock. And the Mongoose continue to abuse point defenses with their range. And the shields are not working, and it's going to be very difficult against this tech too. See a lot of actually power, rebuilding power here. So both players forced to rebuild their bases on the side. Although it looks like Rock is going to lose his. So many dead units in this position. But Voodoo's tanks have broken through, and now they're going to be attacking all these undefended units. Voodoo has also rebuilt quite a bit of his power in his base. But there is a engineer here behind Voodoo. Got a radar now making a factory. Yeah, Voodoo continues to micro very well against this force. Or with this force, with this shield really not taking any damage, using the range, avoiding the point defenses. This is really going to be a complete loss now for Rock. More Tech 2 coming in, more flak. And not many things going well for Rock. You can see his base really shrinking. This is going to disappear soon. And he was trying to rebuild, but a massive Tech 1 assault. Civilians are still alive. Now looking at the eco here, minute 19 plus 40, 25,000 reclaimed for Voodoo. And looks like at this point Rock is thrown in the towel because the replay is over. And at the end there, Rock had plus 14 mass, 260 power. And really in this position, too many bad things happening all over the place. He had units right next to his ACU, 111 kills. Units killing the rest of his power. That was, you can see he's at 260. Means he had 13 power generators, and his main base getting wiped out. So a 19-minute game between two very good players who still need to play their final. Hopefully that will be tomorrow, and hopefully people enjoy this.